Okay, so what we're up to today is I've just recorded with Wolfox's drummer Zach a new Wolfox, the drums to a new Wolfox song that is still being developed, but has some portions that are distinct and while not what's the word? While they're not final performances, with the exception of the drums, they are. Some of them will be finally written, and that'll include like some of the chords and maybe some of the vocal melody. Not that there'll be any vocals to hear today, but there is a piano playing the vocal melody. Let's just take a listen to a portion of the chorus just so that we know what we're working with before we get into the next part. So, clearly demo territory right now, but let's take a listen to just the drums. Cool, so to me they sound pretty good, totally unmixed, no EQ, no compression, no anything. But what's unique about this drum recording is something that I've never done before, which is record. So my previous setups have been 8 microphones all on discrete shells or hi-hats or that, and 2 overheads. This session has something that I've never done before in that I have what I'm calling kick in, which is, well, now that I think about it, which one's which? One of these is the striker, the beater, and another one of these is the other side, and I'm fairly certain, yes, so kick in is the strike. Let's take a listen to it. I'm actually going to have to disagree with my assessment now. I think I have it backwards. Let's listen to that. I believe that was the kick out, which would be the other side of the drum. But let's confirm. Let's take a listen to this. Yes, I have it backwards. So let's rename that so that it doesn't confuse us. Let's see this in the browser. And let's rename this. Okay. So we'll call this kick in. And let's show this in the browser. Let's rename it to kick out. And kick out. Kick in. So kick out, kick in, and just for the sake, so the snare top and bottom kick out. I think just for whatever sake, I guess I feel like in should be first. Let's see if that's right. Let's see. Now I have it backwards. So this is the kicker. It's got a tack on it. And that's the outside of it. Let's solo them together. Definitely superior together. Now, I've also done a similar setup for our snare, which now has both top and bottom. Let's take a listen to each part. So this should be top. which has snap. Now let's listen to the bottom. Which has sizzle. Let's listen to them together. Fantastic. Now, this is also an interesting time. You can actually, this is really cool to me. So, there's something that you can see going on here, in that sound is the movement of air. And because these microphones, one of them is positioned, I can't see my thing. One of them is positioned like this, and one of them is positioned, hold on, in the opposite direction, like this, and the snare is in the middle. And because sound is the movement of air, and that's what these microphones are picking up, this tracks the movement of air here. I find that very cool in and of itself, but because they're pointed in opposite directions, the phase of the sound is inverted. So where this has its valleys, this has its peaks. Now I'm not... I've seen better explanations than what I just rendered of that online. And I guess I'd have to rewatch them to explain it any better, but the basic gist is that because sound travels in a direction, when the sound... So let me think about this. If this is snare top, and the sound is traveling up... Oh, I'm going to confuse myself. I don't know, but you can see that there's clearly a phase issue here. Now, the reason that it's an issue, for our purposes, is that sounds that are perfectly out of phase cancel each other out to silence, which is also quite an interesting phenomenon. Now, I believe that I need to invert the phase of this thing, and I don't know how to do that. So, we will be editing with Superior Drummer today, which I suspect has that feature, but let's just see if Ableton change phase. Is that even possible? How to invert phase? Utility plug under audio effects. Hit the invert L or invert R. Okay, well, for now then, we'll try that. I might want to print it to tape, but there is a audio effect under utility. Phase invert. Oh, whoopsies. Use the utility and click both. I don't know if this is the right thing, but guess I could test it, but this is mono. Input. So I wish this was explained a little better. Ableton invert mono phase. I don't want to watch a video on it right now. How to phase invert on Ableton utility. Okay, well, let's see if we notice any difference. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what's going on exactly. That doesn't seem... That doesn't seem right to me. Phase invert. I mean, if it says phase invert, then let's believe them. It's a phase invert. And let's not think about it any more than that. So I put it on bottom, and I guess I'll put it on... I mean, let's see if it's a problem in our kick. And I say problem not because I can hear it, but because I'm told. So here's... No, so these, for whatever reason, I mean, that's a peak there. These seem to be of the same phase. Maybe not 100%, but... Oh, I guess, strictly speaking, there's a peak, or sorry, there's a valley, there's a peak, there's a valley. I mean, there's a valley, right? So these don't seem as straightforwardly out of phase to me. So I'm just going to leave that for now. I don't really know what to make of all that, if I'm honest. And we should wait until things are a problem before we solve them. So, speaking of problems, there are 2 additional recordings that we have to contend with, because I captured the hi-hat and ride separately. I did that because I couldn't get... Check. Okay, I don't know what happened there. So, the hi-hat and ride were recorded separately, like, separate interface, separate computer, because I couldn't get ADAT or SPDIF, which I'm told are sort of daisy chaining protocols for interfaces working in time for this particular session. But I do expect to have that working in the future. Further, I'm not really anticipating this being too much of a burden to... I mean, that already appears lined up to me, right? So now this is another very interesting thing. Well, I say interesting. I think it's interesting. The overheads should line up exactly, because I actually measured, within the accuracy of about, in fairness, probably a 3/4 inch or something. But you can see that they're just a little off time, meaning that one of them is closer to the snare than the other. Oh, granted, that would also depend on... because they're centered on the snare. Anyway, I'll get to that in a bit. But these already seem lined up. So the hi-hat and ride. So the ride is kind of closer. Well, in my mind, I put the ride there. And then in my mind, I put the hi-hat. So yeah, hi-hat should be here. I mean, this I think is a snare hit here. So let's go ahead and get an unreasonable amount of accuracy on, or I should say precision, I think. If we're being pedantic. Okay, I mean that looks pretty good to me. We'll yeah, I also accidentally I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Oh, yeah, I know what's going on with that. It's that there's a fade. Isn't there a way to temporarily disable automation? Thought there was a way of turning off automation, which is what I want to do for now. Show automation in new lane. I can get back to that. I'm sure there's a way of doing that. Anyway, so now we have, this is a pretty exciting moment for me because this is the most amount of simultaneous microphones I've ever had on anything. So I'm just looking forward to listening to the raw, uncompressed, summed sound now. Let's see what we get. So, already I think it sounds fantastic. I could be biased, though, because I was the one responsible for recording it, and I rather like it. But, let's see what we can do with it. So, for one, I guess what I'd rather like to do, just for the sake of, shall we call it cleanliness, is, just edit these to be all of the same length for what it's worth. In fact, let's look. Oh yeah, he was just playing around. So this seems like a good spot to end them all. And this will also convert them to WAV. Which, while there's nothing wrong with AIFF, I just see WAV used more, so let's consolidate these now. Okay. So now we have all new files. This is also an exciting session for me because it's the first time I'm using a newly purchased plugin called Superior Drummer 3. Now, what's exciting about this is that it supposedly has pretty cool editing tech that should make this shall we say easy? I mean, let's find out. I'm a big fan of easy, what are they called? Toontrax products. So I have high hopes for this. Processed, consolidate. So what do we have here? Hi-hat, ride, kick out, kick in, snare top, snare bottom, tom rack, tom floor, overhead left, overhead right. Fantastic. So let's just go ahead, and supposedly I can do this. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, that's hardly a good start. But I have a suspicion that that is not their fault. I have a suspicion... Oh, what have I done? No, 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 no. Okay. I thought I might have frozen. I have a suspicion that if I rename them, as I'm inclined to, that it in fact will work. Yeah, we'll get to those numbers in a bit, because I do have numbers that I like using for these things. So, let me think about this now. We decided that kick in was 01. 01. Kick out was 02. Snare top was 03. Oh yeah, it's sequential now, okay. Oh, what's these? Not delete. 03. 04. 05. 06. Yeah. Oh, wait. So, actually, I was incorrect. This should be 06. Rack should be 06. Oops, what did I do? Floor should be 07. Hi-hat is 05. Ride is after tom floor. So that's 08, if I can count. Now these also all have numbers at the end of them, and that's because that represents the take. And I guess that's fine. I guess to represent the fact that it's the second take, I'm okay with that. Hi-hat. Now why this one is 001, I'm not entirely certain. Hi-hat 2. Rename it to be consistent. 09. And then, finally, 10. Now, having done that for... Oh, that's kind of cool. That's not what I wanted, but that is still kind of cool. Now, did I delete my... I guess... Yeah, I must have create... Insert MIDI track. Yeah, I must have deleted it. Superior drummer. Okay. Let's try that again. So, current project. Kick into. Okay. Mixer. Tracker, sorry. So... Ooh. My computer was just wearing away. Okay, that's cool. So I want to delete it because I want to try just dragging them all in and seeing what it does. Ooh. This is exciting. Very cool. I can see what it's thinking. Huh. Okay. Interesting. So... open versus hit. Wonder if that's what it calls it. Kick open. Okay, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So as I understand it, let's just focus on the drums for now. As I understand it, this is all coming from Superior Drummer, and there's some things that we can immediately do, like overhead left should go to the left, overhead right should go to the right. Ride should be like, yeah, should be like 80-20. I mean, it is, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is bugging me that it doesn't add up to 100. Tom floor should be like 30-70. Tom rack a little bit over to the left, so like 60-40. Hi-hat should be like 70 or 80-20. That one's 80-20. Logic has a similar thing. Now, snare bottom. So, flams, thump, rim, mid-center. Interesting. So, Easy Drummer is not particularly equipped to do, it's like meant as a, what I mean to say is that it does not have snare bottom here, which is fine. And I think what that means is that for my purposes right now, I'm going to mute, even though I'm particularly proud of it, I'm going to mute snare bottom and kick in, because I want to focus on trying to learn this tool. So, now with the tracker, okay, so let's see what fine tempo does. What does fine tempo do? So, okay, snap to transients. So the tempo is 85. Now, what is it thinking here? Like, oh. Update tempo map, huh? So that's kind of cool, but like, what if I... Okay. What if Oh, I don't know what that's doing. What if I wanted to set them to 85, which is what they are? Cancel. Snap to grid. So it, oh, there we go. So it has a tempo of 85. Snap to grid or transient. Grid and transients. So oh, so maybe then what I can do is let's hit find tempo. Let's update the tempo map. And then in okay, its initial tempo is 11. Fine. So what if I now did like, okay, no. Tempo is 85. And this is 85. Is that... I don't think that's moving notes. So I'm not going to do it. So, does that mean that this... Okay. Have to admit, I'm a little bit out of my depth here. So, there is no moving this. Is there moving? Like, I was hoping there was some sort of snap to grid feature. So I might have to do my editing directly. So let's do superior drummer snap to grid. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Click and drag the vertical blue lines left and right to change the downbeat of a bar. You want to utilize the following functions when updating the tempo. Snap to transients. With this turned on, it will snap the bar to the closest transient. This is a good starting point to get the general tempo of your track, but turn it off if you need to fine-tune it. Move selected bar only. Clicking and dragging the vertical blue lines will adjust the tempo for that measure without moving the bars surrounding it. Okay. Snap to transients, move selected bar only. So, what I do want to find out now then is if this is where it starts. Oh no, sorry. This is where the song starts. And to me, yes, he starts on a downbeat. So, if we're finding the tempo, this is incorrect. Whatever way you splice it. Like, move selected bar only. Snap to transients. Okay, so what that tells me then is that this software really desires your samples to be cropped to the very beginning, because this is not very useful, like this 11 here, and I can't change it. So, I guess that's fine. Snap to transients, and like... That really is a pickle. Detected tempo. Cancel. Okay, so let's start again. Let's remove these tracks. And I don't mind taking my audio and going to the beginning of it, saying that this is the first bar. Why is my scrolling not working? So my issue with doing that like hard cut there is that it, strictly speaking, like let's... Okay, there might be a way around this, but what I'm gonna do is actually do an edit just for learning Superior Drummer. This is not something that I would want on the recorded version, so in Consolidate are my, quote, production versions. Let's now crop these clips that start on the downbeat. Go back to Superior Drummer. And drag in our crops. Okay, so while that was happening, I was actually having a bit of a different idea. Because it appears like the purpose of Easy Drummer is, or sorry, Superior Drummer is to augment with MIDI. Like, that seems to be the power of it. Let's hit Find Tempo and see what it, doing all sorts of stuff. See what it ends up saying. So, what the hell is this? Why does it have 11 back there? That is not right. And I'm not sure what it's thinking, so I'm gonna reset it. That's clearly not right. So delete. Don't know what the difference between that is. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. This is so cool. So I can pick from all those things. Wait. Drumsticks. What? That's not a drumstick, that's a snare. Oh. Not sure what to make of all that. Let me see, do I recognize any of these? I know Black Beauties. I don't like the sound of that one. Not that anyone asked me. Warlord, that sounds cool. Okay. Well, felt. So that's the kick. That's the snare. Oh, I see. So this is kind of like for making. Whatever. For now, we'll just go with pop punk because because I know this kit. Okay. So, let's try dragging in the crop and see what happens. Oh! I know what I wanted to do. Whatever. Let's get to that when we get to that. So I'm a little upset that I forgot to rename them, but we'll deal with that for now. So we're only dealing with kick out. So I'm going to delete kick in. And I'm going to delete snare bottom, remove track. Yeah. So I have 8. Okay. Now, tempo is 85, so I'll set that there. Now we'll hit find tempo. So it appears to me like this is the way that it was intended to be used. Now if I update the tempo map, and if I think this is not editing anything, like if I change this, and then if I mean let's go crazy, let's say I set this to 30. Yes. That is not snap to grid. Let's see if it warps it. It does not warp. Huh. Now I'm not sure what to make of all that, because I guess I would want an editor to do that. So that means this is not an editor, this is a tracker, which is fine. So let's edit, undo, insert device. Let's edit, undo, delete device, I guess. So that means undo crop clip, yeah, undo resize clip, undo resize clip. Yeah. And I'm going to delete these crops here. And let's see, what time do we have here? So I don't know if I can edit these drums in 30 minutes. So this becomes more of a process of editing in Ableton. Now, let's go over the... Oh, where's my little help text? Oh, that could have been helpful with the phase invert. Is that still on? Kick out. Yeah. These switches give control over the phase of each channel. If engaged, the signal of the selected channel is inverted. It can be used to fix the incorrect... Okay. So, kick out. Kick in. Kick out. Snare top. So let's start with snare bottom for what it's worth. So, this track... The audio is mono, but it's being sent stereo out, and that's why we have left-right. These switches give control over the phase of each channel. If engaged, the signal of the selected channel is inverted. It can be used to fix the incorrect polarities of microphones or create a special stereo effect. Inverting both channels of a stereo signal is only audible if other related signals are present at the same time. Ah, okay, so that is what I want then. And I guess for what it's worth, I'll put it on kick out. Not that I think it will do too much. Now, the next thing I want to check is the best warp mode for what we're doing here. So beats, if rhythm is predominant in the sample, if the sample is a clear pitch, texture for complex polyphonic or noisy sounds, repitch for stretching by compensating pitch. I think what we want for all of these is complex. I think. Now I can go back on that later, but for now... Why do these have... Don't know why those all had... I don't want this affected at all. I don't know why that's there. Yeah, 0 is correct. I didn't put that there. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that. But what I am sure about is that with that done, I'm going to group these tracks. And we're going to go one part at a time for editing these. And we're going to see if this is feasible as a workflow. So like, let's say I want to take a look at this, and I want to take a look at this section in particular. And I guess I want to set that as a warp marker. And I want to set that as a warp marker. Now, I happen to know what I want to do here. To begin, I want to nudge this into place, and I want to nudge that into place, because this is a concrete section, and that sets them right at the beginning and at the end of this particular section. Now, let's just confirm. So that... Oh wait, they're not linked. Yeah, I meant to link them. So let's just undo that. And then this is the cool Ableton thing now. Link these tracks. Now I theorize, having done that, that if I click there, I go over here and I click here, it's still on Pro. Now what I want to do is click that, nudge that into place, go over here, nudge that into place, and now it's a game of figuring out what's what. 'Cause like, clearly, that was intent. Oh, well. Maybe this is too broad of an editing sort of window. Maybe we'll go, let's see, what should be the subdivision? Maybe we'll go like this much at a time. We'll just take a look at this. Because like, oh, whoops, in this audio, I can see that it's something like that. That is the sort of frame of reference. let's put 1 at the beginning. And we're going to 13. Let's put 1 at the end there. Now let's nudge... oh, well... see, this raises a problem here. So I guess... nudge. Nudge. Now, is this too much? Is this too intensely nudging? I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna look for the ones that are, to me, like kind of the clearest instances of ones that need help. But that's a subjective process, and I'm not sure that this will actually improve the situation. But we're gonna see. Now, what I'm also interested in, having done this now, is this should have applied here. And it has. Let's see. Interesting. That didn't sound good to me. Now, what's going on here? So, what I'm curious about now is let's... can I, like, disable warp markers to compare? I would like to compare side by side. No. 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 So that deletes. That just deletes 1. Okay, well... I guess I just need to hear the first. I can't say that I actually notice a difference. Like, I thought I did. So this is also interesting because this transient will be slightly off from... so if I drag this there, and then I go take a look at that... so what was it that I just dragged? It was 11.14. If I go and take a look at 11.1... wait. 11.14. Okay. So... I think I have an idea. Let's undo all of this editing first. And let's go take a look at this audio. So let's unlink our tracks. So what do I do about the fact... Well, there's two things going on here. Because this kick hit is intended to be played here, but is picked up by the overheads to be later. Now, I'm sure that this is like way overly splitting hairs, but I have a feeling that that will in fact affect some of the final results. So I think that... Let's take a listen to it. Then let's link them and take a look at just this phrase. Boom. It goes to 11. Boom. And let's go skirt. That's fine. This one could use some help. Oh, but it shouldn't be helped at the detriment of the others. Nope. Oh, I'm gone past 11. Let's turn these off. Don't want to handle this yet. So, let's take a listen. I kind of can't help but think that this is potentially to the detriment of these here, because... Okay, so this is now an interesting case, because they've all been time-aligned. But let's go over here, and maybe this is the purpose of nudge. So if I stretch this out there... Okay. What we have now is kind of like something... Well, hold on. Let's not edit that there. Can I unfortunately can't see that there. Because that's on the ride, or is it? I think it's on the ride. Let's do it over here, because that's closer to our source. Wait, we're using the snare as the center, so maybe that's what we base these edits on. Yeah. So, we'll use snare top as our reference. Snare top, this right here. And if I do, okay... We're going to 11. That's like pretty clear that that needs to be like that. And this could actually be the answer because our snare is the center of the recording. So, that means, in my opinion, that this needs to be nudged. So, right, because these all line up pretty great. Well, this doesn't, actually. So let's maybe start with that. Let's unlink these. And think about nudge. I could have swore there was some sort of nudge function, but that may have been in... Right, let's see. Can I search help? Help. The left, blah blah blah, the phase nudge up down button. Clip nudge, REX mode, nudge notes. To nudge notes without snapping to grid. Clip offset and nudging. Oh, I think that might have been what I wanted. When working with drums, you can adjust nudge length. No, not that. Huh. So I guess I will nudge manually then, because I'm really not sure that this is the right thing to do, but maybe. Right? Yeah. It sort of would make sense. How much is that moving it by? Because the idea now is that this edit accounts for... Do I believe that to be the microphone difference? Well... maybe. This one seems a little aggressive, actually. Now, also by this logic, well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's close enough. That also seems close enough. Now, this ride seems to me to be very much, like that much off. So... Oh no, don't do that. Unlink track. And let's just get a little bit more space there at the beginning. And let's... No. I guess I don't need any of that. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's right. I guess. Um... Now that I'm thinking about it, if this is desirable, I almost think that maybe this shouldn't be done first. Right? Let's unlink the tracks, and let's find... I don't need this group. Let's find an instance of a hit that is so clearly on time. I mean, I guess the first hit is a candidate, but let's find like a slam dunk hit. Yeah, let's do it that way. And a case of just a slam dunk hit. Yeah, I mean that. I think it needs to be a hit of the snare. Yeah. It needs to be a hit of the snare. And I guess if we're being technical, it should probably be snare top. And so I guess it's always going to be a 2. Yeah, I mean that's this hit. Don't know that I'm. So there should be a slam dunk one in here. Let's see. So you can see that one's a little early. That one's a little late. Little early. Tiniest bit late. A little bit early. Here we go. Now we've got a candidate. So this hit can be something that we normalize all these on. So to me, I mean, I see like a real big difference in the ride here. And actually the ride could be something to do with human error because I dragged this in. So this actually needs to be, if we're lining it up there, okay. Let's go to the hi-hat, because that could be another instance of human error. This one seems fine, actually. We can see that it has a difference of polarity with the snare. I mean, if anything, it's just the tiniest smudge. Okay. Now, I do think that having done this now, that, well, we shouldn't, let me think. Because if we warp these, when there's bleed in the opposite direction, we're going to have the opposite problem. But I think because the snare and kick are so central that it's in fact a sacrifice we want to make, I think that normalizing based on the kick and snare is probably desirable. Yeah, so I'm getting nervous because I see some of these hits are like off in this, but then those are hits that are off in the others. So, like, this is a hit that's a little early, and it's a little early here, which should be expected. Early, early. Early, early. I guess let's look for another slam dunk. Like, this is a slam dunk. Might be a kick. No, it's on a 2-beat, so it's a snare. And it's a slam dunk here. I mean, maybe this is right. Let's see. Well, that sounds good to me, and it's also all the time that I have for today. So I'll have to pick this up again tomorrow. So that was just, I guess, a bit of a diary of a session. If you're watching this and you happen to know that I'm either right or wrong with regards to these edits, please let me know. Because this is a learning process for me. I've never had this many microphones, so I appreciate if you are watching and sort of looking to correct. I appreciate it. Or if you're watching because you're having similar problems or you're also interested in Superior Drummer, thank you for watching in general. I hope this was helpful or useful, or that you have the answer. So. In either way, thank you for watching.